Well, the prison guard work strike at the Holman Correctional Facility in Alabama comes as the largest prison work strike in U.S. history has entered its third week. Organizers report that as of last week, at least 20 prisons in 11 states continue to protest, including Alabama, Florida, Indiana, Michigan, New York, Ohio, South Carolina, and Washington. The Incarcerated Workers Organizing Committee says at one point about 20,000 prisoners were on strike. With the protest has come punishment. Several facilities were put on lockdown with prisoners kept in their cells and denied phone access both before and during the strike. Organizers were also put in solitary confinement.
Joining us from Austin, Texas, is Azura Crispino, the media co-chair of the Incarcerated Workers Organizing Committee. Still with us, Pastor Kenneth Glasgow of the Ordinary People Society, TOPS, and Kinetic Justice Inside Holman. Juan?
Well, Azura Crispino, I'd like to start with you. Talk about this nationwide strike. Does this have any precedent in modern U.S. history, and how extensive is it? And some officials are claiming that it's already petered out.
Well, certainly the history here bears repeating. When George Jackson was assassinated 45 years ago, he had been calling for a prisoners' union and a nationwide prison strike. So it's fitting that on September 9th, on the 45th anniversary of the Attica Uprising, that we were finally able to deliver the largest prison strike that has ever been seen in U.S. history. In terms of the momentum, certainly now there has been a shift towards dealing with repression. But as you stated, there are several facilities across several states in which strike action continues to occur.
So what exactly is happening right now across the country?
Well, there's been a shift to a lot more hunger strikes. So in Merced County Jail in California, over 100 prisoners are on hunger strike. They are joined by the wife of one of the inmates, Victoria, who is also on hunger strike. They are calling for a 2,000-calorie diet, an end for solitary confinement for juvenile detainees, and in addition for the firing of Lieutenant Moore, who's been particularly sadistic as a guard there. In South Carolina, there continue to be uprisings, specifically at Tarbell Correctional Institution, and there have been continuing hunger strikes in Michigan as well as Ohio. In Michigan, Dying to Live, Cesar de Leon, and others have been on hunger strike for more than 100 days. They are calling for an end to long-term solitary confinement past a year. But I think the greatest conversation has to deal with repression, and all of that is occurring. So we just heard less than 2 days ago that at Kinross unit in Michigan, that guards, initially it seemed that there was going to be a conversation. The warden had come out and was speaking to the inmates, over 400 of them, which had peacefully marched in the yard. But after the warden left, basically a riot repression team came in and dragged prisoners out of their showers and out of their cells, zip-tied their arms behind their back and threw them out in the yard and left them out there for 5 to 6 hours in the rain without any access to bathroom facilities. So the repression that prisoners are facing around the country for having participated in this strike is real, and it's very severe. So right now, we're really focused on responding in order to help get the word out and get people to call in to those units so that we can help to support those who are being repressed, as well as to continue supporting strike workers, whether that's people who are continuing to be on work stoppages and rolling work stoppages or continuing to hunger strike.
Finally, Kinetic Justice, is the strike still going on among prisoners at Holman?
Not at Holman right here. I'm saying when I say that strike is not going on, like I said, a lot of things have been completely unorthodox at Holman for the last 2 days. And the last 2 days, they've actually had officers to augment the shifts to allow the people to move around. So a lot of things are trying to get back to normal in the sense that people are finally getting out of these dormitories and moving around. So things are not locked down as a strike. So no, not at home, and it's not continuing as we set out.
Well, we want to thank you all for being with us. And, of course, we'll continue to follow this. Kinetic Justice in solitary confinement at Holman in Alabama, prison of 1,000 men. Azura Crispino joining us from Austin, media co-chair of the Incarcerated Workers Organizing Committee. And thanks so much to Pastor Kenneth Glasgow, founder and national president of the Ordinary People's Society, TOPS, a faith-based organization focused on criminal justice and rehabilitation of repeat offenders.